Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple of kooky, crazy kids in love that love doing some reaction videos together.
We do, and we love celebrating too.
Yes, we do. And so we're celebrating 55,000 in the Definitely Not Definitive community. So this is crazy. And every 5,000, we like to celebrate with you all and thank you all for everything you do for this channel, all the great comments, all the great insight, all the enthusiasm that keeps us going. We just love it.
Yeah, so really this is our way of celebrating you all because you are fantastic. The community is so positive and so welcoming to each other's ideas, to being exposed to new things through the community that I'm inspired by you all every day. And I'm also loving the content that you're suggesting.
Yeah, I love it when people are like, oh, you know, I never, or I wasn't into this series, or I didn't really watch it until I started watching it with you all. And then they got like into it and then they started like binging it. And then so, always cool when that happens.
Cheers!
Cheers!
And thank you!
This was like in the back of our car at one point, so it was like rolling around a little bit, so we were worried that it was gonna like explode. So that's why
we
I
were
gave it a little look.
Like extra afraid of the champagne bottle. And yet, oddly, this one did not explode, but we have had ones that did explode that, to the best of our knowledge, were never jostling around in the back of our car.
All right, so cheers and thank you, everybody.
Cheers and thank you! So,
today we're checking out Lackadaisy. It's a pilot for a new show, and we've heard a lot about it, and we're finally getting around to it. We've been reacting to so many different stuff that it's kind of tough to like fit in new stuff every now and then. So, you know, we gotta, this is nice. This is for celebration. We're taking some time.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm very curious about this. It's quite the photo for the thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. That was cool. Yeah,
show centered around Prohibition. Always fun.
That didn't take very well.
Like Boardwalk Empire.
Yep. People like their alcohol. Prohibition's just not gonna work.
Old Man River. That seems far too austere a name for something made of mirth and rage. Oh, roiling red blood river vein. If chief among your traits is age, you're a wily, convoluted sage. Is old the thing to call what rings the vernal heart of Westerlore? What brings us brassy, myth-made kings? And preponderance of bug-type things. To challenge titans come before! Oh, demiurge to a try at Avalon once more. And what august vitality in your wide aorta stream. You must have had to oversee alchemic change of timber beam to iron, brick, and engine steam. Your umber whiskey waters lends the prideful, sober sovereignty of faulty haloed temperance and welter self-sure countenance. Yes, righteousness is vanity. But sport's for imps, not elderly. So, if there's a name for migrant mass of veteran frivolity that snakes through seas of prairie grass and groves of summer sassafras.
This feels like the opening of like a Shakespearean play.
It does.
A name that flows as roguishly as wild waters, fast and free. It's your true name. Mississippi.
It's abundantly clear you forgot us down here.
Encore? No encore?
No, that's plenty.
Had a dance? Extra stanzas? There's more where that came from.
Please don't ruin musical theater for everyone.
Sure, lookouts are supposed to make such a ruckus anyway. Why don't you come down here and grab a shovel?
Alas, Miss Pepper, I was cursed with these spaghetti arms. So, I do what I can. I provide the
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I provide the ambiance. Babyface provides the muscle. Look at him digging his way to martyrdom, little go-getter. Now, how about a little Rhapsody in G minor for company?
Fine. If you're not gonna help us work, you're gonna have to double as the dirt rag.
Rocky? I think I found...
Is that it?
Well, if it isn't, we'll have some awkward explaining to do to the family of, Herman Hapfem? Feel?
What was that? Did you hear something?
All these unresting spirits were trespassing on their turf. But there's naught ye can do about it, ye feisty devils!
I wish my mom was here.
What? Blasphemy! That force of nature, she'd stop us dead.
I know.
Oh, Freckle. Don't tell me you aren't having a good time showing off your shoveling skills for Hotsy-Totsy over here. Gora! Oh, for a moment there, I thought it was your mom.
This is why I don't go where I love spirits, digging up graves, and sacrilege and ass.
Settle down, cousin. The spirits are all bottled up. 100 years past, Burke and Hare were up to much worse. And things turned out just fine for them.
Didn't they hang him?
Details, Freckle, details.
Now show me your crowbar skills.
Ah, liquid gold! Dionysian delight! Better still, Canadian whiskey! And deliver.
I think we should hurry.
I'll start the
There's
car.
whiskey in the jar. Leave the headlamps off. Can't be too careful.
Right, we've been so discreet up until now.
No! Don't let that get away! Miss Sam can't spare a drop! Murderation! Where's that spotlight when we need it, Miss Pepper? Now the spirits are afoot.
I got it.
No,
I got
that
it.
is my foot. That's not what I meant.
No, I can't see.
Ah, there it is.
Stop it.
You
Get off me. Rocky.
Ow!
Yes, that wasn't a flashlight.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me?
Look like we got some live ones tonight.
Yeah, say, boy, the chase is the best part.
Slick driving skills.
Let's not prolong this. This is a trifling matter. We have other business to tend to.
Yeah, but none of it near as fun as this gonna be.
Can't let the competition go unchecked. Even the little vermin, they got a way of festering.
Allo! Where'd you learn to drive like that?
I didn't!
Didn't?
Learn to drive!
Well, you're so bad at it, you've confounded the enemy. Nicely done. Now we need a performance from you, torpedo boy.
No.
Yes, yes, yes.
No.
Don't be modest. Play us a symphony.
Trying to put that together fast.
Yep.
What's going on back there?
All right, what the?
I guess this one is the big.
Oh, no, stay with me.
That's the proper look to have when you have a Tommy gun like that.
for dinner to fair.
Nah, just more glass.
Profoundly unprofessional.
Well, they got more firepower than I expected. But you want to take over driving back there?
No. Especially now that you have alleviated us of our windshield.
Oh, you don't like how we play? How about you stop spectating and throw in, Chef? Or do we have to worry about you getting sentimental about old times?
Brakes!
Alright, so is he related to people?
Turn here, make a left!
What turn?
Louis, left hook!
Oh.
Sinister! Port!
There's no left here.
Use your imagination, Miss Pepper!
Rocky, I can't steer.
Oh my god, they drove into a quarry.
Oh, is it playtime?
He's
now?
cracked.
I think so.
Do you think we're safe?
So is he.
Sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to. It's just that there's a fire, a burning hot fire in the engine compartment.
The radiator. Hot, hot, hot.
For never having driven a car, she knows a lot about him.
I was gonna say, yeah, she's like half mechanic right now. I wouldn't know what to do with my engine with smoking. Alright, dude, light him up.
Bless you.
Thank you. Ooh.
Oh, the world is full of magic things. I just need a ticket to ride.
Oh.
Well, I'm nearly out of
Nice.
sleeves and ideas. The engine is still too hot. I don't even know if
You
it'll...
said there was a pistol in here somewhere?
There's always one wedged in the seat. Well, I guess that's a gun.
I'll draw them away. You start the car. Please.
This is going to take longer if you scatter them.
What happened to you that made you hate fun?
Take care of that. Disable the vehicle.
Raspberries.
What'd she say?
Raspberries? But that doesn't really make sense.
I think that's like instead of swearing, she says something like that. It was some kind of berry. This guy's look reminds me of like a grown-up Tom from like Tom and Jerry.
Mmm.
No, 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 no!
Bonsoir, mes amis.
Sweet.
Child, this 11 kinds of stupid.
The sudden circus comes to town. The behemoth and the top hat clown. Come gather all around. See them rain their fire down.
Oh my god.
What's happening?
Rocky.
You can brandish up your
Rocky's gotta screw this.
chain. The circus train's a blazing tear. Said the clown with daring air. We'll make our 3 rings anywhere.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Ow.
Rocky!
Come on, Mudbug! We gotta skedaddle.
Yeah, he just couldn't do it. Because it was the girl?
I think so.
It's his daughter or something?
Yep.
Aces. Here, Freckle. I got you a souvenir. You're supposed to light it first.
Nico! Brother mine, help me up.
Shit, you look disappointed.
Yeah, he does not look pleased. Little Daisy Cafe. What a great cover for a speakeasy.
Scrutinized and
Yeah.
scandalized and troubled in the end by depleted finances. Familiar story. Miss Duncan leaves behind, moreover, a legacy of consummate artistry and bold innovation. Done in by a scarf. The comic end that makes the tragedy, doesn't it? Speaking of tragedy, we got an old supplier back. The funeral home. Still, it's not the same without you. And that feeling that all of this was ours. Used to be we could drive a whole convoy of trucks in. Now we're just digging for scraps. Well, however unbecoming, Atlas.
Is the picture gonna be the
that's my
guy?
cue. Meet you downstairs.
Oh, no. Okay.
Looks like a tiger.
Yeah.
Miss M.
Horatio. The door, sweetheart.
Oh, right.
How's the weather, madam? Ah, right, the difficult business of a business.
You could certainly be of some help.
Except I'm supposed to be a pillar of the community, baron of industry, upstanding citizen, you know?
He said, bent over his illicit beverage.
Oh, thank goodness. I wasn't sure you were alive.
Zib, shouldn't you be up on stage playing?
For who? That guy? How about you, Wick? Shall I serenade you personally?
Once I've had a few more illicit beverages, perhaps.
I suppose I could use one of those too. Victor? Victor, I know it's an adjustment, but the bartender's got to look like someone the patronage can tell their troubles to. More of a confidant, less of a coroner. Try smiling, honey.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
Hello. We made it, everyone! We made it!
I drove a car.
Sorry.
Well, look what the Mississippi spat up.
Miss Sam, you seem, surprised.
Rocky, sweetie, you are nothing if not an exhausting, incomprehensible surprise.
Thank you!
This was supposed to be the real McCoy. Let's see if that's the surprise. Well, it'll certainly start your engine.
Which is to say, it beats radiator fluid.
Oh,
What's
jeez.
that aftertaste? Crisp, full-bodied, reminiscent of oak wood. Coffin varnish.
Yeah, we can call this the Sunset Rose Cocktail.
Sunset Rose Cocktail? That sounds good. You have no idea what I went through to get this.
I have very good an idea.
Sophisticated flavor.
No, thank you.
So, not bad then?
Cool. Yeah,
Better than getting shot. Still, is this all we got for our money, honey? You look like you took a bath in the red.
Well, I could probably wring some more out of my coat for you. There was a minor incident. Incidences?
The likes of what?
Oh, just some spent ammo and...
Desecrated graves.
Fractured signage, minor flooding, lots of structural damage.
We may have fomented a deadly rivalry on the way, too. But dynamite and heavy machinery are marvelous problem solvers. Hey, old sport!
Dynamite? What dynamite?
And the car is fine.
I fixed it.
Also, you'll be happy to know my violin came through unscathed.
I know you did your best, honey, but we can't keep running ourselves ragged and into the red to bring home meager. What I mean is, I don't see how this...
JJ.
You know what? I'm glad you and your violin are back, honey. We could all use some music about now. I mean, besides JJ.
All right. Come on, kid. What do you say we go lighten the mood?
About the dynamite and machinery, can you elaborate?
Mr. Sable?
Right. Cheers.
Come on, you owe me a dance.
I do?
Yes, I've decided. You know the
I've
drum
decided.
set,
No.
The Lindy Hop?
No.
The roundabout? The jingle jangle? The hooty noodle?
I have a head injury.
I'll show you. You just gotta put one foot over there, and one over there, and then stick a foot over here, and do it like so.
The good old days.
The Roaring 20s.
Ivy, Rocky.
Mordecai. What a great name for a
Yeah.
villain.
Mitzi.
Maribel Hotel. Manager's office.
Connect me to Mr. Sweet, please. Rather unfortunately, we were sidetracked. The vehicle has been disabled, and on the whole, the evening has not gone according to plan.
Let me see if I have this right. Ruthless, infamous hatchet man Mordecai Heller is calling me to ask for a ride.
Yes. However, Mr. Sweet, it seems...
What am I, your dad?
It seems we have a more considerable problem at hand.
What, someone mussed your hair? You got some dirt on you?
As a matter of fact, yes. But more to the point, one of our suppliers appears to be double-dealing. To stragglers from Lackadaisy, of all things. They're clumsy and likely to draw attention. With the feds in town...
Yeah, that's a real liability.
And I can only stave off so much heat from the higher-ups before this whole city starts smoldering. Oh, those dragons.
Having given it some thought, it does appear to warrant our attention.
Right then. Time to tie up some loose ends.
Okay, so that was different. It was like a very theatrical. Like we said, like in the opening, it felt like a Shakespearean play, and then when she was the woman that was at the end there that was owning the speakeasy,
Mitzi.
When Mitzi was out like on looking out the window and everything like that, it just like felt like the set of like a play and like her like out there giving a monologue. So what'd you think?
Yeah, it was, I mean, like you said, putting it in the backdrop of the late 20s and Prohibition is an incredibly interesting time in American history.
Mm-hmm.
So right away you're like, ooh, this is going to be new and different and something interesting. Of course, Ken loves the sort of like underground mafia, like seedy criminal underbelly world. So right away you've got him and Prohibition. And then it was such an unusual opening. I did not expect it to unfold the way it did, which you rightly identified as feeling very much like the prologue of a Shakespearean play, the kind of like monologue that comes out. I mean, I couldn't help but think of like, you know, the start of Romeo and Juliet, where you have the person who comes out and sets the scene, and we have two warring houses. And this kind of had that feel. It was all in poetic verse, and it seemed kind of like a love letter to Mississippi. And I was like, wow, this is a curveball. I wasn't ready for this with an animated series about cats and Prohibition. But I also realized, like, as I was listening to it, that I started to kind of listen to it almost like a song, in that I was enjoying the sound of it without digesting the words. So I got grateful when it slipped into more of our natural modern kind of speaking, because I was like, okay, I realize I have been so removed from English class and out of the world of classical plays that I wasn't following along with it the same way I follow along with modern speech. Like I was going to need to work harder for it and like pay closer attention to make sure I understood everything and fully digested it. The character of Rocky is really interesting.
Yeah.
To have that kind of duality of being this sort of poetic minstrel, but then also really happy when he gets his hands on explosives. Did not see that coming either. So I'm enjoying this because I don't know what's coming next. Like even the characters, they're not a standard type. Like you think, oh, I get this character. Okay, he's the minstrel. Never would have saw him coming with the explosives and the machinery at this little the quarry, the stone quarry. So, it took what you thought you knew and it made sure that you didn't actually know what was coming next.
Yeah, I liked the character of Ivy. I thought she was adorable.
She's so cute.
Yeah, she was very cute. I didn't laugh as much as I thought I was going into this. But it definitely like captured my attention throughout it. And like you said, like it's very like I have no idea where this is going next. And that's great. I mean, it's it was not a predictable pilot at all. It felt unique. Some of the animation though, like at certain parts, it felt like I like could see like the lines or something like that in the animation. So I don't know if that was like intentional as well. It felt like it was intentional. Yeah. So I don't know.
It made me wonder, because I noticed that too, and it made me wonder about the creators and sort of the backstory of how this came to be. I was thinking like, oh, is this somebody who perhaps studied animation and this is their first try at a series, and maybe like, they had to submit their stuff and ran out of time to correct this last couple of images. But yeah, because the rest of it seemed so flawless and very, ready for something like, Disney or they don't do drinking cats in Prohibition era, but like, something that was very, I think Saturday morning cartoon ready. Then those moments when you kind of like saw the artist's work underneath was a little jarring. It took me out of it and reminded me like, oh, I'm just watching something animated. Which, of course, but when you are able to suspend your disbelief and fall into the story, you get to fall into the characters without being reminded of that. So then seeing that was a little bit like, oh, okay, no, back to reality. So yeah, it just made me wonder, what was the thought process in that? Was it intentional or was it a mistake and simply like, this is somebody who's just starting out, in which case like, bravo, doing a fantastic job. And that was just something that, popped up. Yeah,
everything else was so, like, this is so stylistic for everything else that was in this that, like, to me, it felt like a choice in there to show it at certain times.
Yeah, you bring up a good point that everything else is so polished, so it being an intentional choice is then a question of, like, what is it trying to tell us?
Yeah.
Which at this point, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't have any idea either. But yeah, I look forward to checking out more of this and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks so much for recommending this, everybody. And thanks again for everything you do for this channel and for celebrating with us today. Cheers.
Cheers, 55,000 going strong. Woohoo.
Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for the Lackadaisy Pilot, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.